Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Neha. I make video on tech and my life in the UK. First of all, I would like to say thanks to each and everyone for showing your support on my DSA's video. So far I recorded 2 videos on DSA. If you haven't watched those, I will put the link in the the description box so you can watch that. This is the third video which I am making in the DSA series. And the reason of this is because I saw that there were a lot of people who were able to relate to my DSA journey. So that's why I'm making this video. Now, first disclaimer. If you already know DSA, you already know problem solving, you are already comfortable, confident, then this video is not for you. You can close this video, you can watch some other content. I have a lot of content on my channel, you can watch any other video. But this video is mainly for those folks who are very new to DSA problem solving. They are not comfortable or confident that if they will face any problem, how they are gonna solve it. And in today's video, I'm gonna talk about that when you will get your first problem or any problem, how you should start step by step so that you can start writing the code for that. Most of the people think that the moment they will get a problem, the first thing they need to do is write the code. But that's not true. I'm not just talking from the perspective of interview, but even in your day-to-day life at work or your side projects, writing the code would be the last thing. Before that, there are few steps you need to do. So whatever I'm gonna share in today's video is not only for your interview, but also for your day-to-day work. Okay, so what we are gonna focus in today's video, there are 4 things I'm gonna teach you today. When you will get a problem, then why you should never start with the code, what are the questions you need to ask to your interviewer, pseudocode or logical thinking, and at the last we will reach to the code part. So let's start with today's video. And the first thing is the problem. What is the problem we are going to solve? Because we will have a problem and then we will take step by step. We will go step by step. So the problem we are going to solve is given an array, find the largest or max number. So this is a problem given to you. Now, if you are someone who is very new, what you will be doing is you will start writing the code from here. But this is the wrong thing to do. Now, why this is a wrong thing? Because the first thing you need to do is you need to understand and read the question properly. First thing. I know this is a one-liner, but still there are few things which are missing from here. Like for example, given an array, find the largest max number. Are we assuming that the array which is given is only having number data type, or that array could have any other data type also? So how the array is looking like? Would there be like blank spaces, duplicate? I don't know. But the point here is, unless and until you are not having all the clarity, you cannot move ahead. So now that's why I told you that never ever start with the code. Because if right now, if you would have assumed by yourself that the array consists of only numbers and you would start writing the code, the interviewer could twist this question and says, sorry, this array could have other data type also. Then what you are gonna do? Then your whole solution will be, wrong, and you need to rethink that how you are gonna do that. So please never start with the code. So what are the things now, reaching to the second step, that what are the things you should start asking? So the one and the most important thing, which I would say would be 100% go with any problem, is test data. Always ask that what is there any test data? So in this example, you could directly ask that is there any test data, and if interviewer said that there is no, then it's fine. You can make by yourself that let's assume my array is of num. Array is num and it has 9, 5, 2, 10, 2, 3. Then the output should be 10 and just take 2-3 like this and get the say of your interviewer that this is what they are expecting. So what is happening here? You have a test data. You are also telling that, this is, if I will pass this array, the output should be 10 because 10 is the max one. So you are also getting a yes from them. Okay. So test data will go always with every problem. Either your interviewer should give it to you. If not, then you can have, then you can create your own and get the yes from your interviewer. Now, what are the other questions you can ask? Edge cases. Always go for the edge cases. Now, here, definitely if you are starting, right now you might not have that much experience of edge cases. But what will happen after you solve like 5 to 10 problems, you will see that your edge cases, identifying edge cases, muscle is building up. So after doing 5 to 10 problems, you will see by yourself that now you can identify the edge cases very well. Now here are a few edge cases. What if array is blank? Then it should return, for example, 1. What if array has only one value? Then it should return 1. Would the array will have only numbers? You can ask this question. Would the array will have only numbers? Yes. Let's assume yes. Now you can think about, and I'm not saying that always when you are solving problems, there would be the edge cases coming to you which might not impact your solution, but there is no harm of writing it down and improvising as you are going along. So for example, here I will say, would there be duplicates in the array? Now here interviewer might say that how having duplicates in an array will impact the output, because if you will see here, it is not gonna impact. Here the sample, in this sample I have 2 coming twice. It's a duplicate value. So obviously it is not gonna impact your output. So you can say, okay, not applicable. But it's okay if you are asking such questions, because what you are doing is you are improvising on the flow and you don't even need to ask. I'm pretty sure when you will reach till here, you can answer it by yourself that having a duplicate value won't impact the output. So always start with the test data. Ask the interviewer about the test data to understand that how the input would be and what the output is expected. Then go and ask about the cross questioning. Here I would suggest always start with edge cases. Always start with the negative cases, because we as an engineer always take positives, that always a happy scenario. But what interviewers will be doing is they will be asking a lot of questions and twisted scenarios will be coming from your edge cases. So it's very good that if you can start from there, asking cross questioning. And this is what actually your interviewer is also interested in, to knowing that how much you are thinking before writing your first line of code. So that's why it is important. Okay. So now once your questionings are done, then we will reach to the third part. Now third part is the pseudo code, or I should not say or, but logical thinking also. Now this is a very important step for you as an engineer and for interviewer also. Now why? Most of us engineer assume that when we are giving an interview, writing the code is the most crucial step. But trust me, I have faced such interviews where they don't even bother to ask the code. They just say, just give me the pseudo code. That's it. Just give me the pseudo code and we will just have conversation on that. I myself have written a lot of pseudo code in interviews for the test cases also, for the actual problems also. And I got cleared those round also. So please never assume that you will get in an interview and your job would be just to write the code. So be prepared that they would be asking you the pseudo code. Now, if you are sweating yourself that, oh my God, I have to learn writing pseudo code also, don't worry. Every engineer, whenever they are thinking of a solution, they are actually doing this part. The only thing is we are not, when we are thinking about the solution, we are not writing in the pseudocode. We are start writing the actual code. So don't worry, don't sweat yourself. I will take you step by step that how to do pseudocode, logical thinking and all that. So don't worry about that. We are going to talk about that. But pseudocode is very important. Now again, if this is your first, second problem, if you haven't wrote the code before for the problem solving, this pseudocode, muscle building and logical thinking will take some time. My advice to you is, do not expect that if you are done with like 2 problems or 3 problems, your logical thinking or pseudocode would be good. No, you need to give yourself some time. You need to practice daily. Now, when it comes to the practice, because the engineering, the problem solving domain is big, you need to have a strategy. So if we are talking about the arrays, so what you need to do is you need to spend some time to practice the problems on arrays, so that from after certain time, your logical thinking will start building for arrays. Same goes for objects, same goes for different data types and algorithm. But with more and more practice, your logical thinking muscle will be very, very strong. And with that, your pseudocode, you will also able to do it. Okay. But from my own experience, pseudocode is just 2-3 problems you will do. Not 2-3, I would say 5 for a max. After 5 problems, you will be pretty good with pseudocode. But with the logical thinking, you are going to take a lot of time. So you need practice. Without logical thinking, how much pseudocode you can write, I'm not sure about that. So again, you need to have more and more practice and patience to build that logical thinking muscle. Now let's talk about what is pseudocode. So pseudocode is basically not writing the actual code, but whatever the solution you are thinking, writing that in a very layman language. So for example, I would say, if I have to write the solution of this code, I would say function get max num. Now whatever I am thinking, I will start writing that. So this is my first step. I will create a function get max num. I got an array, but what I'm gonna do is, if num dot length is greater than 1, then it should go ahead. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, it will say else return 1. Okay. Now here num is greater than 1. Now here I have to write my whole logic, that what will happen here. So here, if the length is greater than 1, then I have to find the greatest correct number. Now here our logical thinking will start, that how we are gonna find the greatest or max number from it. Now I would say, because this is, I'm assuming this is my first time, I have no idea, so I will go with my best solution, which is not the best, but the first solution which is coming in my brain, in my mind, is that I'm gonna compare each and every one. Okay, I would say I would compare each and every one, and when I'm comparing first to second, then second to third, third to fourth, and so on, and whichever is the max, I will return it. So I am gonna compare each element with each other. So this is what I wanted to do. So what it requires is, it requires me to loop over all on my array. So here I am gonna say, if the length is greater than 1, then it will go inside, and then it is gonna do a loop. Which loop it is gonna do? I would say for loop, and it will start with I equals to 0, and till where it will go? It will go till my length of this. When the length is greater than num dot length, my loop will break. Okay, fine. Then what will happen? Then I'm gonna compare. So I'm gonna say I, if num I is greater than num I plus 1, then it should return num 1, this num I, else we will write else it will go in the loop again here, and it will do. So if you will see, this is what our pseudocode look like, and this is coming from the solution what I am thinking of, basically my logical thinking, and I am converting them to step by step. Now few of you will say, oh come on Neha, this is not a pseudocode, this is an actual code. I agree, this is an actual code, but the difference here is I am not running it, I am not worried about brackets and all that. Even adding this 2.1 or 2 is also not required when you are actually sitting in an interview. You can just start with we will check length, it will go loop, and we will compare. And this, what here interviewer wanted to see is just your logical thinking and how you are thinking, how you are thinking about the solution. And if your solution is not going perfect in one go, are you able to identify that? Because sometime when you are writing the code, at that time also it will click to you, oh my god, this is not correct. Now once you have this pseudo code with you, you take this test data and start running this test data on this. That's your second test. Now what is test means? The first test of your logical thinking or solution is when you are writing the pseudo code, you are also thinking while writing, am I doing the correct thing? Is my code is working, will give me the output which is expected or not? And then the second test would be when you are taking your test data and running your test data to show that you are actually you wrote the correct solution. Now you must be thinking that how I'm gonna use this test data, because I haven't written the code here. Definitely. But what you are gonna do is you are gonna pick this array. So you will say the 9 is the first value. So sorry, this num array came. Num.length is greater than 1. Yes, this is greater than 1. So it will go here in the loop. Now here it will start with I equals to 0. I num is greater than num.length, and I plus plus will happen. Now on num I it would be 9, and here it would be 5. So 9 is greater than 5, it will return, and what will happen? Your whole program will break, because in the first condition only it got the 9, which is a wrong output. So now you are able to understand that this is not the correct solution which you wrote. So that's why this is your second test, that why this test data, when you have written the pseudocode, you need to run your test data to see if the expected output is coming or not, and to identify that where you are doing the wrong thing, as we identify here that this is the wrong place. Now the benefit of writing the pseudocode is also that because you haven't written the whole code, it is just a pseudocode, now you can fix it. Otherwise in the code you have to go back, rewrite everything and all that. So in pseudocode this is also one of the benefit. So yes, writing the pseudocode is very important. Now I will take a pause here before I go to correcting this solution, because there are few things which I really wanted to share with you, which I also share in my previous video. Now from now onwards, when you start doing problem solving, my suggestion to you is start like this. Read a problem, take the test data, identify the edge cases or the questions to get more clarity of the problem. A lot of interviewers actually try to give you a problem to see they try to give you a problem which is having some missing components to see how far you can think. Okay, so this is a very good way of identifying good engineers, that how they are able to think about a problem and come back with the questions. So edge cases for sure talk about that, and based on the problems there would be more clarity you might require. So ask that, please ask that, and then move to the pseudo code. Writing the pseudo code is very, very important. When you will sit for the practice, read the problem, prepare the test data, think about the cross questions you need to ask for the clarity, and then write the pseudo code on paper. Why I'm saying on paper? Because it will help you in speed up and your confidence in writing the actual code. And when you are writing on the paper, when you will start running your test data over your pseudo code, you will see that you are getting more confident that how the code works. So my suggestion to you is never jump directly on the code. Start with these steps, and pseudo code is very, very important. With time, what will happen? These test data, edge cases, cross questioning will be very quick steps for you. Your time will be spent on pseudo code, and once your pseudo code is perfect, converting that to actual code would be a piece of cake for you. And now if you are thinking that do I have to do all these steps in every interview, I would say this pseudo code might be optional. So you can ask your interviewer, you want me to write the pseudo code or actual code? You can ask that. They can tell you that pseudo code is fine or actual code is fine. Whatever they will reply to you, you can follow that. But test data, edge cases, cross questioning, they are not optional at all. Okay. So now let's move ahead and let's try to fix this problem. Now we understood that our pseudocode, this particular approach is not great. The reason is because in the first go only, it returned us 9 because it matched the problem, it matched the condition. So this is wrong. So how we can fix it? So what we have to do is we have to keep a number here, which will be our max number, and it will be the first one. Okay. So we can have, sorry, not I, it will be 0. So this is our benchmark that we are assuming that this would be our maximum number. Now because we have taken the 0 here, what we will do is we will start the loop with 1, and what we are gonna do is we are gonna now compare every number with the max, and if if num is greater than the max, then what we are gonna do is we are gonna do max. I'm gonna assign this value here, and we can return max. So this is what we can do. So our condition is, oh, I didn't put the condition here. Wait, I did one mistake. So we will have if num1 is greater than num I is greater than max, then max is equals to num I, and after this condition, okay, here we will return max. Not even this condition, after this loop also. So here, so this is what happened. Now again let's run our test data. So 9, let's come here. We have 9 here, so this is our 9. Now we came here, so here it is 5 and this is 9. 5 is our second and this is 9. 5 is greater than 9? No, it is not. So we will go back to the loop. So now we reach to 2. Now 2 is here and 2 is greater than 9? No, it is not. So again we move to the next one. Now we have 10. Is 10 is greater than 9? Yes, it is. So it will be 10 at the max. So now at max we got the 10. So again we will go to the loop because we haven't came out of loop as of now. Our loop is still going on. So now we have 2. Again the same thing, is 2 is greater than max? No. So again next, 3 is greater than max? No. Loop is over, and then we will come here and it will say return max, which is 10, and this is exactly what we are looking for, the output. So now you can see our pseudo code is working perfectly fine. Okay, and I showed you that by running the test data you can show it. So now we will reach to the last part, which is code. And as I told you, if you have written the pseudo code, writing the code would be the piece of cake, because now only you need to do is just write it in your favorite language. So for us it is JavaScript. So I am gonna just write like this, and if this is my edge case, so if num dot length is greater than 1, then what I need to do, I need to go inside to this part, but I need to have the my number let max equals to num 0. Then we need to do the loop. So for let I equals to 0, I is less than num dot length I plus plus, and here I actually didn't put I plus plus, so you can also talk about this, that it will increment, and then we will go here and we will say num this condition. So I can just copy this condition here, then I can go inside, I can copy this condition here, and after the loop it will return me this. Perfect. This is my if. So in else I will say return 1. So if you will see, this whole thing is making sense here. So as I told you, writing the code would be the piece of cake, and you can see the whole logic is getting copied here. So I don't need to do a duplicate work, it's just copying. And that is why a lot of interviewers don't ask you to write the whole code, because pseudo code is enough to know that how good engineer you are, or how good your logical thinking, problem solving is. Okay, so this is done. Now let's do one thing. Let's try to run this code. So let me put it here. Let me also format this. Perfect. Let me take this sample here, and instead of return, what I will do is I will do console.log max, and let me open the inspect here. Let's go to console also, and let's see 10. So you can see this is working. So now what I will do is I will change it to 11. Let's see, 11. Perfect. I will change it to, instead of 10 and 11, let's make it, let's wait, it should give us 9. Perfect. Now what I will do is I will just make it 1. This was our edge case. I haven't done the console, so let me do console.log 1. Let's see, 1. And if it is an empty one, let's see, 1. Okay, so this is how you do the problem solving step by step. We just got a simple one-liner, and first step is the test data, then asking the cross questioning, then going to the pseudo code, and at the last converting it to your code. Now with practice, what will happen, your pseudo code step might get replaced directly writing with the code. But my suggestion to you is, do not skip when you are learning. Please do this exercise on paper. Take a problem, try to identify test data, try to identify question, edge cases, then do the pseudocode logical thinking, and then running your test data on your pseudocode. And once you are happy with that, then convert your pseudocode to code and run it on your editor to see if it is working or not. If you will follow these steps, I'm pretty sure that this is gonna benefit to you. Do not think by doing just one problem you will become a master. You need to do a lot of practice. You need to have patience. Every problem would be a new problem, so don't be harsh on yourself. You can definitely start with the easy problems. So before I would say, in starting you will struggle, but with time, patience and practice, you will see changes in your approaches, your speed. And please, one thing I didn't mention about time, when you are learning, do not worry about the time first thing. So do not do like, I'm gonna check my time, I need to do this problem in under 30 minutes, I need to do this problem under 40 minutes. No, the reason is because right now you are learning. If you will put a time on that, you will not be able to give your 100%. Another thing I wanted to highlight, I didn't talk about the space complexity, time complexity in this. The reason is because, again, we are learning how to solve the problem. Unless and until you don't have the solution, how you can calculate the time and space complexity. So first get yourself comfortable with solving the problems, and you will see that when the time will come about the time and space complexity, you will feel by yourself that yeah, now I'm ready to calculate time and space complexity. So again, do not sweat yourself. First, your focus should be solving problems. First focus on that, and then after some time focus on your timing, focus on your space complexity and time complexity. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comment section, and if there's something, some other topic, any problem you want me to pick, let me know. I am planning to make few more videos like this where I will take a problem and I will take you step by step with that. So let me know in the comment section. Share with your friends in your network. I really wanted to have more subscribers, so I am looking for your help. Thank you. Take care. Bye.